So number three, waiting versus chasing. This is the mindset shift. So I used to chase trade after trade after trade, and I seem to lack patience. And it's something I've noticed in a lot of traders, that they lack extreme patience in the beginning. But the more losses you take, the more humble you become, the more patient you become. So waiting is powerful and discipline, not weakness. The key to success in trading is learning to wait, learning to be patient. This is probably one of the biggest things that could lead to your success as a trader, is waiting for the best setup to arrive, waiting for your setup to arrive, being patient, not getting fooled by the market, not falling into FOMO, not chasing. Patience is really a superpower. In my early trading days, I would overtrade, and my ability to wait for setup was always rushed. I was always feeling rushed. I was always feeling restless at the charts. And I don't know if it's just a natural process that happens when you start trading, because there's money involved and because there's so much excitement involved. I would miss clean entry, the FOMO would kick in, and I would jump into the next and lose both trades. It led me into entering into early or late simply because I was not calm and calculated. So my total conclusion for that is, the reason all of this is happening is simply because I was not calm. And if you're not calm, it's hard for you to be calculated. So calming the emotions, staying in relaxed state of mind is very important key in making the right shift psychologically. So the mindset shift that happened for me was waiting like a sniper, no entry, clarity, not fear. So I was becoming a sniper mindset. A sniper, if you know anything about snipers, they're very calm, they're very collected. You know, I'm sure you guys have seen movies with snipers, the sniper sitting on the hill, he's waiting. You know, some snipers could wait for days, they could wait for hours, just patiently waiting, staying calm, staying relaxed, just waiting for your setup to arrive. Because if you have one specific setup you're looking for, then it makes things super simple, because now you're just being patient to wait for your setup to arrive. And when it arrives, then you can jump into action and take that trade. So wait or chase. You know, this is a big shift for me, from moving from this chasing mentality into this waiting. You know, when I was chasing, I was forcing trades. I had no plan. I was breaking, even when I did have rules, I would break those rules. I was rogue, you know, a rogue trader, not disciplined at all. But then after shifting my mindset, looking for more confirmation, having a checklist, you know, is there bias? Yes. High time frame bias confirmed. Is price in a key zone? Yes. Is it breaking CISD? Yes. Patience score. You know, the more patient you become, the more successful your trades will be. So I definitely can see a correlation to how patient a trader is to their success, because you're patient to wait. If you're not patient, you're going to chase. And if you're chasing, you're forcing. And if you're forcing, you're gonna see things that aren't there. The chart's gonna look a certain way, then you're gonna enter, and then when you review it, you're gonna be like, why did I enter that trade? It didn't look that way when I first entered. So your mind will begin to play tricks on you when you in this chasing forced frame, because you're trading from this emotional rushed point of view and not this calm, calculated state. So some mindset shifts that you can ask yourself, or you can just walk through, or just get into these specific states, is discipline and patience will lead to your trading success. So the more disciplined and patient you become with your strategy and with how you trade, the more successful you'll become. You don't need more trades, you need better ones. So instead of looking for many trades, rather focus on less trades, but just waiting for your perfect, absolute perfect trading setup to come to you. One setup model. This is going to simplify everything for you. It's going to give you confidence, it's going to give you clarity, just having one setup model that you follow. Be the sniper, not the gambler. So changing your mentality to become like a sniper, become super patient, become super calculated, become super calm. And that's definitely going to make a massive shift. So these are just simple mindset shifts, but I'm sure if you take them to heart and you really get into the frame, you will definitely see success. The key to all of this is to trade like a machine. Make trading very mechanical. When it's machine like, it almost takes you out of the equation. It almost takes you having to think too much. We're not psychics. We're not predicting the future. We're just following a mechanical set of rules with a checklist, and we're making sure we stick to our rules and we follow them step by step by step. That is it. And once you follow the set of rules, you're not going to win every single trade, even when you follow those rules perfectly. So if you just come to the chart, follow the rules perfectly, you're still going to lose a certain percentage of your trades, but your win rates is going to be higher than your losing rate. So the key is to turn entries into repeatable execution checklist. Something you can come to the chart and repeat every day, repeat every day. The 3-part entry checklist. I put together a checklist just to help you keep on track, just to follow the rules. I focused on making it as simple as possible. So number 1, bias confirmed. So this is my checklist that I follow, and it's something that's kept me on track. So when we've got the bias confirmed, we're looking for a higher time frame sweep or a failure to displace. Check. If you're seeing a sweep or a failure to displace, it's also letting us know there's a swing formation being formed. Then number 2, point of interest valid. So this is going to be key level sweep occurring at a key level. So we're just waiting for a higher time frame sweep to occur at a key level. Then number 3, confirmation. We're looking for this lower time frame CISD break. So these are the main parts of my entry checklist that I follow. And if one is missing, it's a broken setup. So every one has to occur. If one of these is missing, it's a no trade. And I've deduced it down, I've refined it down into its most simple attributes, which are these 3. So number 1, bias confirmed, higher time frame sweep, and failure to displace. So this is what I want to see. This is the basis on the whole setup. Is I want to see a candle 2 or candle 3 closure forming a swing formation. So if it's a long trade, I want to see this failure to displace. And if it's a short, I want to see this failure to displace. So that's pretty simple. And this is for my strategy. So it's basically looking for this reversal at a key level. So I'll mainly be looking for shorts. But if you're looking for long trades, we're still looking for that same formation to occur. So number 2, we're looking for a valid point of interest zone, which is going to be our key level. And we want to see a sweep occurring at the key level. You can see we want to see this swing formation occurring at a key level. Now, the key levels can be fair value gaps, daily highs and lows, weekly highs and lows. We've gone over those details quite a lot. Whatever key level that you like to use, I predominantly like to use fair value gaps. But whatever you get success with, you follow your strategy like that. Price comes to a key level. We observe a swing formation or a failure to displace happening at that key level. We wait for a candle 2 or candle 3 closure, which we've gone over in the strategy. And that's point number 2. Also, there's other things you can look for. We're looking for manipulation and displacement to occur to cause these fair value gaps, which I will also go over. And then number 3, we're looking for our confirmation, which is going to be our lower time frame entry and lower time frame CISD. So summing up the whole setup in this picture, we're just waiting for price to come to a key level to form a failure to displace or swing formation. And then we're just waiting for the CISD to be broken, and we're looking for an entry. So it's a very mechanical system. It's just step 1, step 2, step 3. We've got a set place. We're setting our stop loss. We've got a set place. We look for our targets. We know exactly where we're going to enter, when we're going to enter, keeping it super mechanical. And for our short position here, we've got price coming to a key level. At the key level, it forms a failure to displace or a swing formation. And then we're just waiting for the CISD to be broken. There's always going to be 2 or 3 different entries that you can take. The main entry is going to be at entering at the break of the CISD, or oftentimes we get this manipulation. You see the manipulation that causes this failure to displace, creates this V formation up and down, and then it breaks the CISD. when it breaks the CISD, it leaves behind displacement or a fair value gap. And oftentimes, not all of the time, price will retrace back into that fair value gap before it actually makes the move and starts to go into this manipulation or this expansion in the opposite direction. So it's a very, very simple system. It's, if you distill it down to its bare components, that is what comprises this whole system. Now, there are going to be certain little variables, but the core of it is going to remain exactly based on this system that I'm showing you now. And this is my complete system that I follow every single day, or whenever I come to the charts. I don't veer from it. This is the one model I stick to, which allows me to have that clear psychology when I'm trading, knowing that I'm just following the steps. I'm not guessing because I'm waiting for step one to occur. Step one, is at a key level? Yes. Step number two, is there a failure to displace at that key level? Yes. Step number three, is price broken the CISD? Yes. So those are the three steps. If all of those three steps are happening, I'm entering the trade, and I can't predict, will this be 100% a successful trade? I don't know. There's still going to be randomness that will occur, but as long as you're following the steps mechanically, you're doing everything right. And then it's just about sticking to that entry model and staying very consistent with it. And then you'll start to, when you stick to one model for long periods of time, you find a new kind of clarity within that model. You find out also little tricks and things within that model to help get your entries better. Like you might notice that whenever the CISD get broken, maybe 50% of the time it comes up and taps into the fair value gap. So then you also build data based on, if you take the same trade over and over and over with the same setup, the same strategy, you're going to build data, because there's no variables. You follow the same 3 steps through every setup. So now you're going to build data that's very easy to be able to go through that data and make refinements and improve. But if you're jumping to different strategies and you don't have a consistent model, the data is always going to be a little bit different. So that getting accurate data really help you grow as a trader. So make sure to follow your checklist. Your checklist might be different from this checklist, or you can use this checklist as well, but make sure to follow your checklist and stick to your formula for at least a long period of time to give it some success. What I've noticed is a lot of traders, they end up losing because they stick to a formula. They don't get the wins that they want, then immediately they go look for a new strategy. But if you can just stick to one system, one formula, one entry model, you're going to find you're going to get a lot of good success.